All right, welcome everyone. This is Kanal Thomas with Black Man Travels. We're hosting our second podcast. Yes, second podcast. And before we start anything, I really want to take a moment to really recognize a man that actually made a huge impact within the past couple of years, Mr. Kevin Samuels. And I want to just take a brief moment just to give him a moment of silence and gratitude and respect to this man. So let's just take a moment of silence to recognize his contribution to the manosphere, to the Black travel movement. So let's just take that moment of silence and begin. Thank you, everyone. As I said, this is our second podcast. I definitely invited a lot of key players, true veterans in the game that have been actually putting a lot of work out here in these countries and just doing their thing from photography to starting businesses, relationships, married, and so forth. And right now, there seems to be a huge pushback towards Black men. And it's like, I don't know, have you guys noticed that there's been a huge concentration on the whereabouts and movement of Black men? It seems like everyone is so concerned how Black men are moving across the states, but also overseas. And now I don't know if you know, but there's a huge push of this false perception of why Black men are traveling. And due to the fact that most of the Black men, we do love Latin America simply for the cost and the fact that it's very close to our destination choices. So but as of lately, we've been getting a lot of negative air in why Black men are traveling to these particular countries such as Colombia, Dominican Republic, Brazil, Costa Rica, and so forth. And what I've been hearing out here in the streets is that, Black men are just strictly traveling for sex. Like, don't worry about the culture, don't worry about the custom and the food and just exploring our options, but we strictly are traveling for sex, and not just sex with anyone, but like I've been heard some really foul things about why Black men are traveling from a particular segment of people. And I wanted to use this platform to really educate the masses on why our Black men are traveling, and also change this whole false narrative and why and how Black men are currently traveling at this moment. So definitely want to take a moment to recognize each person. So right now I'm gonna start off with Bacchus. Please introduce yourself. Just give me a quick rundown as far as who you are, countries you've been to, and we'll move on from there and start the conversation.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Bacchus. I live out here in Atlanta. I've been to, I lost count, but I've done most of Southeast Asia, Australia's, lived in Canada for a bit, and I recently got into the South Americas as of about 2-3 years ago. I think the first place I went was when I got this was down in Cuba, 7-year-old. I had to crack this open for tonight. What I do, I'm a photographer, I'm a travel photographer. So most of the stuff when I travel, that's usually my main goal, is to find cool people, places, and things to do while I'm out and shoot as much as possible. And I'm one of the admins in the Black Man Travels group. I've been about for, I think, about 2 years now. And yeah, I guess that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, Curly, you next.
Can you carry out Domino's 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each? It takes skill to get that pizza from our store.
Your friend, there you go.
Sterling.
Yeah, how you doing? How y'all doing, fellas? Name is Sterling. Born and raised in sunny Los Angeles, California. Currently in Houston, Texas right now. I'm basically have been a traveler since about 2007. Just started going places. Started out Puerto Rico. I've been to Italy, Spain, France, Ecuador, Panama, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Mexico. Just been around. And that's basically, I'm trying to learn the game from the vets, and I'm also trying to work on doing some drone work. I see Brother Thomas does that a lot, and I want to start doing that and taking pictures and stuff. But I like to, get out and learn culture and stuff and learn new things. That's all I'm doing right now. So I'm just new to the game here with you guys, but I've been traveling for years.
Okay, okay. Next person up, no excuse. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, how you fellas doing, man? So a little bit about me. I've traveled, to several countries, Colombia, Brazil, Dominican Republic, in Africa, Ethiopia, South Africa, Asia, Japan, Philippines, and Thailand, and also Belize as well. I'm a contributor in a Black Man Travels group. Also moderate a Facebook group, No Excuse Travel, and also a content creator on YouTube as well. And my primarily focus is, showing Black men their options outside the Matrix USA.
Guys, we're going to speed up the introduction, so if you can, just have to speed up so we can jump into the real media of this conversation, all right? All right, Vision for Life, you next. Vision for Life, can you hear me? You can unmute yourself and introduce yourself. All right, I guess you're trying to figure it. You got it. There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just quickly introduce yourself so we can jump into this conversation.
My name is Wilson. Started traveling probably about 4 years ago. Been to Colombia, been to the Dominican Republic. I was introduced to this travel group by my best friend from military school, and it's been a great experience. Very open-minded. I like to do the Anthony Bourdain thing, like I always say. You like to do the Anthony Bourdain, hang with the locals, try the beers, try the mixed drinks, stuff like that. That's why I like traveling.
All right.
And also, it's became a mental break from working. It's like it's good to take a break from this work.
All right, cool. Hey guys, we're gonna have to speed up the introduction so we can jump into this conversation. There's a lot to talk about, so guys, just quickly introduce yourself. All right, next, Don John.
Yeah, my name is Don. I'm from Atlanta. I'm out here on the West Coast. My travel in most of the cases has been through Europe and kind of sort of Asia. Most of the time it was on two wheels. I mostly broke country lines before I broke state lines. And basically I'm just trying to get back on two wheels and go all over the world again, basically.
Okay.
Like I used to.
All right, man. Well, thank you for joining the call. Next up, Tony, quickly introduce yourself. So we're gonna just go ahead and jump into this conversation.
All right, my name is Tony Ogunjobi. I traveled to Canada, Dominican Republic multiple times. I think in 2 years, I probably flew there about over 20 times. Met my wife there, and that's it. Just want to meet new friends. And I heard someone here say something about traveling two wheels. Hope to link up with him and other people soon.
Thanks for joining the call, guys. So let's go ahead and start the conversation. Let's talk about this whole false narrative of why Black men are traveling. I wanted to get your perception, starting with Bach. Like, what are your thoughts in regards to what people think, especially how Black women feel when Black men are traveling overseas and the reasons of why Black men travel?
You want me to take it away?
Yeah, go for it, Marcus. Next up will be No Excuse.
From what I've personally heard and witnessed, is they take a lot of what they see on TV and online, and from what they hear from their brothers, cousins, homies, or dudes at work that are traveling out. When we come back, man, we can't wait to preach the good word to our brothers and try to bring him into the dark side. And they be ear hustling and listening and hearing, and they putting together what they want to. A lot of them have been seeing that their man has left them to go to Brazil or go anywhere else for chicks, and they're trying to figure it out. What I gather is they've put together that we are traveling straightly for sex tourism, straightly for that. The Pookies and Ray Rays that do go out to DR or wherever and make it the block hot and do dumb shit and whatnot and come back and make it live and put that shit all online. They're taking all that together, and they're seeing that we're out here just straight sex tourism, et cetera, et cetera. Not saying that there aren't cats out here that's not doing that. We all go through our phases, but the more true veterans realize there's more to the game than that. I've had one woman, I had to check her because she said that we only go to places like Panama because that's where Colombian prostitutes come to get their boobs and ass done. And I had to check her and let her know, no, they get it done in Colombia, it's cheaper, and then they come to Panama and work. At least get your facts right. Somebody tried to check me about the Philippines and Thailand, which I spent most of my travels in. I had to check them on that too. Look, I understand what goes on, but I'm gonna let you know what the real deal is. And I even threatened to put a real deal Filipino on the phone, and she didn't want that. They wanted to spit this narrative that we're just going out there just to do the dumb stuff that we can't do stateside because of rules, laws, or whatever the case may be. But I'm always make it a point to show people that when I travel, it's more than just that. Here's the one local I hung out with the whole time I was there, and this is what we did. This is what I did for her and her family. This is my friends did for her whole village. This is the things we do. I try to show a different narrative. The mongering stuff, I keep it within a very tight-knit group. That does not need to be public because I don't want, and what I do is usually on the low to keep it away from the mainstream. You'll never find any stuff of mine because you'll never get it. I work in IT security. You'll never get it. I'm gonna tell you now. But the women are just in this thing that they're gonna make up whatever narrative they want to fit whatever idea they already have in their head.
Now, Bacchus, and I'm gonna jump on the next person. Jump on no excuse is that the reason why black men are telling to these other countries because you know what, they can't get any women here in the States, so they're lame, so they have to go overseas to get to actually date someone or actually get any type of activity. Is that the case? No excuse. Do you think people that are saying that black men are going overseas just to get some action because they can't get no action in the state? That's the case.
Nope.
No, it's definitely not the case. And there's a lot of attractive, well-groomed men with means that travel, that could easily pull women in the US. So that's definitely not the problem. What I see is that women, what the travel community is doing is against the dating strategy of women. The dating strategy of women is for men not to know their value. Women dating strategy is to get as much as they can without men, without doing anything. So the moment that men empower other men to know their value and to say, you know what, I ain't got to put up with this BS, women will always, protest against that, and creating false narratives is just a way for them to kind of protest against that because they have a agenda, they have a core belief system, and they understand that men have to be in check in a certain way for things to continue. And traveling broke that, and Kevin Samuels was breaking that as well. So that's why they are anti anything against their system.
Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm actually showing my screen here. This is the guy that actually went viral a couple of weeks ago, where he actually posted all his experience in DR, being with multiple women, and of course he received a lot of backlash. They were assuming that women were underage, or why he's paying for it because he can't get in the States. And keep in mind, I don't mind anyone actually sharing their content, but there's a time and place to do that. And also, too, there's certain things that don't need to be shared at all. And similar to what Bakken said, any type of mongering activity, look, you don't need to broadcast to the world. We already know what you're doing. So, like a guy like this, who's actually documenting all his experience in Brazil, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, he's basically kind of somewhat providing more like fire to the and why like Black women assume that Black men are traveling for one thing. Do you guys agree or disagree? I'm curious to know. Robbie, I know Robbie jumped on the line. What are your thoughts, Robbie? Okay. All right. Well, give me someone else. Sterling, if you could jump on and provide your input on this. So go. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, it's a misconception of travel, and it's been like that for years. I noticed that whenever I'm going somewhere, even females in my family, older stuff, think, it's only for the sex, the prostitutes. I'm like, man, I don't even deal with prostitutes. I'm more, I try to do it a little bit different. I mean, it's
Your sound's not clear. So do you have are you on a Bluetooth or something?
hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I lost me for a second. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, but I was just stating that they don't think we have we like to explore culture and stuff. They think we just out there for women, and that's a bad person. I get frustrated with that. I stop arguing and debating on that with people. I know why I go. So, I mean, it's like you brothers do the same thing I do. So I don't go back and forth about that with guys in the States. So.
Oh shit, I was on mute. I guess I wanted to know is like if we could actually help change this false narrative and why Black men travel. What can we do to help educate the younger generation and how to move properly and moving forward? Bacchus?
Oh, he's not in the chat.
Oh, he's not. He jumped off. Okay,
I know what some of the things they can do.
go for it, Vision.
Some of the things they can do is number one, they have to understand that, like, yes, it's a beautiful women, beautiful food, lovely, but you have to understand you're also in a third world country, and everybody doesn't have what you have. And prime example, when I came back, my first trip from Colombia, my boy was like, "Yo, oh, you met all the bad bitches. I know you met some. Tell me what happened. What happened?" First things first, what I did was I told them the truth. I said, I'm a school teacher. I make good money, but it's not enough because inflation is very, very high in the United States. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you have to tell them the truth about the American dream and the difference between the United States and Colombia. And what happens is those guys, the typical guys, they come over there thinking with that American mentality, like you guys post those videos and the guys got the jewelry on, they throwing money around, you know, and they wonder why they get followed home, the setups. I can't find my cell phone, things like that. You have to understand when you're in a third world country, things like the internet is at a premium. Um, like I was trying to tell my friend when I first came back from Colombia, you know that like every building doesn't have hot water that people live in. It's a privilege to have hot water. I said, that, like, make sure when you book your B&B and you travel to third world countries, make sure they have security at the places you're staying at. That's 24 hours, and make sure they have hot water because we're American. We're accustomed to it.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. But the thing is,
Yeah.
the thing is, like right now, we as black men, we got this negative perception and everything how we move. We're considered as low value, we're considered not producing. And now the reason why we travel because we can't get any action overseas. We can't get any action domestically. So I guess I'm trying to really gather like ways and how we could just change this whole narrative and why black men are traveling. Personally, for me, I travel a lot. Again, in the past, I did, fool around in the foolery, but also too, I'm really about creating new content, like where I can share and educate other brothers. I like to write blogs about my travel experiences and let people know how to travel properly. You don't have to be like on some low budget shit to actually travel and move around these countries. You can still do something luxury, but also on a budget. And the thing is, we still travel for the culture. We still travel for the amazing food in these countries. And there's nothing wrong exploring your dating options overseas. I think people feel like, just because you're from the States, you're limiting yourself. You should limit yourself only to the folks in the States. And that's not the case for a lot of guys. Black men, there are women everywhere, especially black women in other countries. A few of my friends are married to women from overseas, and they have an amazing marriage, amazing family. So, and we need to change this whole narrative that black men are strictly traveling for sex. I'm going to just put it out there. The narrative about right now is that black men are only traveling for sex, and it's not just any type of sex. It's like a low grade prostitution sex, and that's not the case because I know.
But see, I have a question though. I have a question about that. I got a problem with people who say that in our community, male and female. But at the same time though, like when you look at TV, look what Epstein did. Look what he did, and nobody gave him flack. But the moment we go over there, and we go over there, I ain't gonna lie to you. You go to the restaurant and park our ass. You see some jumps over there, and you shoot your shot, and you the bad guy. But this dude Epstein had a whole ring, a whole ring,
Well,
and
I
they
mean, keep
and
in
nobody, and
mind,
he caught flack. But when we do it, they want to throw us under the bus, put us in hell, and everything.
but you have
It's
to
a
understand, Vision. Vision, you have to understand. Whenever a black man moves, everything is magnified 10 times. Somehow, for some reason, the way a black man moves is always magnified. And that's something that's always going to be that way. And it's just like, if we sneeze, I mean, everyone's going to turn around and look at us. They're curious to know why we're sneezing and why we're traveling. The thing is, I want to make sure that we change that narrative. We have tons of veterans in this group that have wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience, and why they're traveling, and they're doing well overseas. So again, I'm going to open the floor. I want you guys to chime in. This is a great conversation. Again, but this is only meant to be 40 minutes, but I wanted to like get your thoughts on it. So I want to bring someone new on the floor. Tony, are you,
All right. So
Tony?
my opinion is on the same page as the other brother that other groups of people travel in groups, and I think it's unfair for us to get that flack. For example, tomorrow I'm traveling to Dominican Republic for 2 weeks. I got a 4 bedroom apartment, but yet I'm inviting 3 white guys over, and we all doing the same thing. But my original intent to go to DR was because in America I can't afford land. I'd be open and honest. Like I really want quality land, and I want to farm. So when I came to DR, the first time I went to Santiago, I went to Santo Domingo, I went to Puerto Plata. When I went to Puerto Plata, I found Sosua on accident. A taxi driver was like, "Are you going to Sosua?" I said, "What's Sosua?" I went to Sosua and lost my mind. I mean, hate to say it, when I found Sosua, I got divorced 2 months later because I was like, "Oh hell with this being locked up in the cage BS." And my wife at the time, she wasn't on the same page of having overseas property. So in the future, I would just, if I was traveling, I don't keep my mongering low key. I mean, you can ask Thomas, I tell crazy stories, but my friends who are in high corporate jobs, they always brag that they live the Wolf of Wall Street life when they travel into Italy, when they travel into Germany. But we get flack when we travel to Colombia, to Puerto Rico, to Dominican Republic. So with me, in my opinion, I mean, this is not for all brothers. I don't really care about changing the narrative because if I see myself as an equal to all other races, they're in my home. They're in my home in America doing the same dumb crap. I mean, two of these white guys are married to Mexicans, but yet they're traveling to Dominican Republic to monger. And as far as changing the narrative when I'm there, I helped this guy named George, build a house for this lady, but I didn't publicize that either. So I just think that it's blown just a tad bit out of proportion. But at the same time, we could do a better job with limiting the rap video mentality of throwing money and wearing chains. That's all.
I totally agree. Anyone else that want to chime in? No excuse. Frank, what are your thoughts on it?
I would say, as far as changing the narrative, I just think it's hard. It's kind of like trying to get, white people to change the narrative on how they view black people. It's you have to have power to change narratives. So until we, I mean, in the pecking order in the United States, we're not in a power position to create or change narratives, unfortunately. Not saying that we can't do anything to improve our image, which we should. But so we got forces working against us. But I mean, to what you're trying to get out, everything involves around how you carry yourself. If we don't want to be perceived as thugs, we need more guys, wearing suits, dressing to part. Kevin Samuels was an example of that. So if we don't want to be perceived a certain way, we just have to carry ourselves in a certain way. And if people want to buy into that, fine. If not, I mean, that's the only thing we can control is how we present ourselves.
That's true. Marcus, what are your thoughts? I'm always curious to hear your thoughts.
Say that again. You was kind of low. I didn't hear you.
As far as can we even change this false narrative of what people have with black mentality?
What we could change on it? Just like No Excuse said, man. We just gotta put a different. We have to produce the content that they see because they're only seeing it from us. So if you're out there mongering hard and you're becoming a professional ceiling fan installer, I call that to the dudes who just go out there and lay on their back, don't see nothing about the country, but run through everything. Then if that's all they're going to see, that's all they're going to see. That's all they're going to think. So just like we're doing is showing different places besides the major hub you land into and stay within a 2-mile radius. We're driving 2, 3, 4, 6 hour outside of town, seeing more of the country, show something different. Not just the bad. Everybody else is showing the bad. If you really want to stand out, you really want to show a different experience, then you have to go do a different experience and post that. Once you separate yourself from others, not as many people are going to see you, but it doesn't really matter how many people are seeing you. It matters like if you are okay with what you're putting out there. If you just want to put out TNA, cool, no problem, do that. You're gonna get a lot of clicks and views. But if you want to put out something more, something better, most definitely. I believe what my homeboy said earlier about being like Anthony Bourdain. That was like the dude who really got me started. Watching him going to all these places and eating all these foods and just being in spots you would have never thunk of. I missed the cat. I was really sad when it happened.
Keep in mind, Bacchus know all the restaurants, man. Whenever he has a list of restaurants that he must hit. There's like no exception.
And I get it from Anthony Bourdain. I got all his videos, man. So like before I go someplace, I'll search in my stuff. If Anthony's been there, I'm like, okay, he been there where he went, and I'm knocking him off, and I'm searching him.
I want to speak on something. This man Bacchus, he'll literally put together a 3-5 day itinerary. Time by time, detail as possible. And the thing, he's very adamant that we stay on this itinerary. If we off of one activity, man, trust me, you don't want to see this side about this. But just recently we went to Cartagena. And again, guys, I've been going to Colombia since 2015. And I've been to Cartagena plenty of times, but this was the best experience I ever had in Cartagena, strictly the fact that we decided to do something different. We decided to be a full-fledged tourist. We went out like 2-3 hours outside of Cartagena into the mud volcano. We went to the black town of Palenque. You know, we got on a boat, did a 45-minute ride to another island called Bora Bora. I mean, the fact that we were able to do that and experience something completely different, even like the restaurants we were going to, we went to like 5-star restaurants. And again, guys, this is not the same type of experience you get eating at the clock tower. Like, we were eating at some like real flashy white gloves type of spots. And that made that experience so grand. But that's like, I had to tell Box, like, yo, this is the best trip, one of my best trips in Cartagena ever, because we decided to do something completely different. Sex was not the focus. It was about experiencing Colombia, experiencing the country for what it is, and going out there and exploring. And we were able to create some amazing content while we were there, and network with a few powerful people out there. So, guys, again, never limit yourself, regardless of what people think and why you're traveling. Fuck them. Like, literally, fuck them. Do you, but at the same time, understand why you're traveling, because just like Kevin Sanders, man, you just never know when's your time. You just never know. And that's something I'm starting to accept about myself, about my life, that I'm on the clock. We all on the clock right now. And it's just
That is
like,
true.
Huh?
I said, that is very true.
So it's like, we're on the clock, man. The thing is, while you on this earth, dude, there's no need to carry any issues and like any ill will towards anybody. Live your best life, experience, and do the things you always want to do. Again, if you travel strictly for sex or whatever, listen, you're not gonna enjoy your travel experience. However, you open yourself to learn the custom, try different things, explore these countries, man. You get the full benefit of why you have a passport. And again, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. Man, listen, we on the clock. Accept your mortality and understand that like there's so much to see and do outside of just banging and smashing. So again, right now there's the narrative being pushed on Black men while we travel, we shouldn't travel for sex. And that's not the case, because a lot of us are into exploring new things, meeting people, networking, trying different restaurants, exploring small towns, going to, like, again, guys, if you in Cartagena, go check out Palenque, man. You see, this is the first black town in all of America. All of America. This is the first black town before Haiti got their independence. There's so much history and richness outside of these watering holes. I'm gonna call it watering holes. You guys know what those spots are. And it's just like, you can go out there and experience that. So, you know, when you talk to a vet, or now if you are a vet, when you're speaking to these young men, educate them, man. Take that young dude aside and let them know, like, hey, listen, man, yeah, you know, it's cool to go to the clock tower, it's cool to go to Sosua and go to Copacabana, but guess what? There's other places, like less than 5 minutes, or even within 2 hours, you can see a whole lot more and get a better bang, you know, a better bang for your buck on your experience. So that's my take on it. I want to get someone else take on it. I see High Def. You want to chime in? You got like 6 minutes.
Yeah. My thing is, man, when I try to tell a lot of young brothers, I'm in pretty much all the groups, but I'm really quiet. I might post something here and there, but my thing is, I like to explore. I like art. My house is full of art from all around the world.
Awesome.
And I try to impress upon brothers to find something that they like to do, and it's not about just the women. Now the women, that you know, that's gonna be there.
Hey guys,
but there's other things to that.
Don't get it twisted now. I mean,
yeah.
Eye candy is always
you know me. So the women gonna be there, but you know, fly your drone, take some pictures, go hiking, you know, hit them jet skis. Just last month I was in Nairobi, you know. Wow. So, you know, and I went hiking out there. I went on safari. I got pictures, I got art, I got artifacts, I got all kind of stuff. And a lot of brothers do a lot of traveling, but they don't do the exploring side of the house. Mm-hmm. You got to explore, you got to see new things. and you're gonna meet people that are genuine. You know, you're not, you know, handing them money all the time. You know,
Yeah.
they're gonna show you around, and these are
Can I
lifelong
say
people.
what? Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Go for it, Robbie.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is to the places that we are going. I don't think that Americans see that as a place that people are going to explore. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
The
but
places
even
that
in
people are going to, they're like there's like it's a party towns. So it's hard to change somebody's perception to say, "Oh, I'm going to a party town, but I'm not going to party. I'm going to go explore." It's hard to make somebody believe that. Now, if you go to England, a lot of times people say, "Oh, well, they don't know about the underground," but
Mhm.
a lot of people think that you're going to go see the old cathedrals, all that stuff. You're going to do the castles and stuff like that. It's hard to. That's an easy sale to sell. You go into the Caribbean, people know you're partying, and it's hard to say I'm going to go look at the caves. Now, I like this. I like the whales. I've actually go in February to go look at the whales. A lot of people don't know that the whales come down there and mate and everything else, but people just don't associate the Caribbean and some of those cities that we go to as a place that somebody's just really not going to go party. I'm just really going to go see the tourist part of it.
Yeah, I think those are people who have the resort mindset.
Yeah.
You know, where they don't really get out into the barrios, you know, the cities, and actually meet the locals who are
right
put you on game. You know.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
I've never been to the resort. Never.
well, you know, there's the difference between a vacationer and a traveler. That's a whole nother conversation by itself. But hey, guys, I got 60 seconds left. Again, this is a test run. So in closing, I mean, honestly, it seems like changing this false narrative of why black men traveling is pretty much a done deal. We can't change it. However, what we could do is we could influence it. Us as veterans, let's continue to educate the young brothers that we know there's more to their travel than just entertainment. Also, we can continue to share our experiences. Guys, don't be afraid to share your pictures, places you've gone to, and things that you've seen for other guys. Because trust me, a lot of black men are not traveling like that. I think we're less than 2% of the black population have a passport. So as much as people think they're traveling, they're really not traveling. So again, continue to share your experiences with other young black men or even other black men and why they should travel and get that passport. But again, I got less than 1 minute to close. Just wanted to say thank you so much again. Hopefully we should have a longer conversation because things are starting to pick up.